it's a step back. I think it's good for him though. If he goes out and he starches Imavov, you go, okay, he's back. Lived up to the moment, rose above it all, knocked Alex Pereira out cold. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for Izzy to kind of make a statement. And I think he's going to do that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Over the Octagon podcast. You know who it is. It's your boys, Joel and Evan. And today we got a couple things we got going on. We had PFL yesterday, Road to Dubai, and then we have UFC Fight Night coming up this week, which is honestly, in my opinion, better than the next pay-per-view that's coming up in
without a doubt
in Australia. So a lot of good fights on that, but you know, first and foremost, if you're listening, go ahead and hit that like, comment, subscribe to the channel, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you're listening to it on. Make sure you're following the episodes because we're keeping going. 2025 is going to be a banger fucking year, so stay tuned. But yeah, let's jump right in. We got a big card coming up next week. We got UFC Saudi Arabia.
UFC is back.
First fight night for Israel Adesanya since before becoming a champion. He was on pay-per-views for years and never fought in a fight night. Now it's his first fight night headline in years, and he's fighting, Nassourdine Imavov. So thoughts, let's start from the top. Let's just go right from the top. I think this is a huge test for Imavov. I think this is a kind of a step backwards for Izzy, but obviously with his last two fights, it's hard not to give him a fight like this. You kind of have to step back and humble yourself again and kind of, prove that you're still where you're at. I mean, we see it. It's going to happen with Kamaru Usman too. Like the guys that were champions for long times, it's going to require that. And I think I'll let you start and then I'll kind of talk my shit, but this is definitely a step backwards for Izzy and a step forward for Imavov. So big implications on this fight.
I agree. It's a step back. I think it's good for him though.
Yeah.
Like kind of to your point, but what you said, like, I think this is the perfect chance to show that Izzy is still the champion that we know he has been, and the dominant fighter that we know he has been in the middleweight division. So you get a guy like Imavov, if on a fight night, if he goes out and he starches Imavov, you go, okay, he's back, right?
Yep.
Or if you go out and you lose to Imavov, it's kind of like, I don't know how much longer we'd see him. I think if he loses to Imavov, there'd probably be a pretty good chance that he walks away.
You think so?
Why would he not? What else is he going to fight for?
That's true. He would really have to work his way back.
Yeah, I don't see him being a guy that, similar to kind of how DC retired back in the day, right? Like once you lose,
couldn't beat John. He was just like, I'm done.
Well, even then later, beyond that at heavyweight, right? And you lose to Stipe, and then, it's kind of like, you don't see a title fight in your future anytime soon.
Yeah, he retired on the loss. That's right.
That's really all you fought for. Like, when was the last time Izzy didn't fight for a title? This is his first non-title fight.
And what?
Since like
5 years?
I mean, I don't know, 2019, 2018, maybe?
Yeah, 6 years maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how.
You're not. I don't think you're wrong on that.
Yeah, I think if he loses to Imavov, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think he does it like in the cage by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I don't think it's like an immediate thing. I just, I think it'd be a long time, if ever, that we saw him again if he loses to Imavov. That being said, I don't think he does.
Okay.
I think he's taken a good amount of enough time off. August he fought and lost to DDP. Lost to Strickland, 8 months before that. But training with Robert Whitaker, we've seen the videos of.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this is like he has done well historically in these moments. These big kind of moments to show and prove himself, right? Like, look at the second fight he had against Alex Pereira, right? You get beat the first time, you get this second fight against him, and it's kind of a do or die opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Like if he had lost that second fight to Alex Pereira, who knows,
Yeah,
right?
he may honestly not even be fighting right now.
Right. Who knows what happens? But he came, lived up to the moment, rose above it all, knocked Alex Pereira out cold. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for Izzy to kind of make a statement. And I think he's going to do that. I do. I think he's
You
going to do
do?
that. Yeah, he's fought good grapplers. He's fought good wrestlers in his career. He's fought every type of fighter. He's obviously an elite striker. I don't really think like Imavov is going to have something for Izzy that
Izzy
is
hasn't
too much
seen
for him or
on.
he hasn't seen before or I mean, Imavov went to decision with Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen obviously super tough, but I mean, what are we talking about here, right?
Yeah. Then again, though, I mean, here's how I look at it. I do think Izzy wins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a finish involved. I think it's a decision. I think we see a 5-round decision. I don't think Izzy finishes him. But I also don't think, like you said, I don't think Imavov has anything that Izzy hasn't seen before. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like he's going to be able to break Izzy down or find that way in to win.
Yeah.
I could honestly see it. I mean, I hate to say it, but being a boring fight. Weirdly enough, like I could see Izzy trying to avoid any like crazy things happening, but at the same time also just kind of pointing his way to a win.
Yeah. I mean, it
Leg
could,
kicks, leg kicks, leg kicks, like the whole fight.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Imavov is uh, he's kind of a DDP-esque style of
Yeah.
striker. He's kind
And
of
I
a
was
brawler.
gonna compare this fight similar. I think it's gonna be similar to what we're gonna see when Jack Della fights Leon Edwards. Like, I think Leon Edwards is gonna beat Jack Della, and I think he's gonna beat Jack Della the same way Izzy's gonna beat Imavov.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 5-round pointed out, like don't let him get too close, clinch up against the cage, like just keep the fight standing and avoid any kind of danger at all cost
Yeah. I mean,
and get the win.
Imavov lost the decision to Strickland, right?
Strickland, yeah.
Um, so it's kind of, yeah, I agree. Yeah, Izzy is a slight favorite. I think the odds are probably
I think they're pretty accurate,
pretty
honestly.
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, fairly
I
close,
don't think
pretty
it's negative.
accurate odds. Minus 175 for Izzy, plus 145 for Imavov. Yeah, I have Izzy. I just think it sets up the perfect opportunity for Izzy to kind of rise to the occasion, make a statement. He's on a 2-fight
Because I
skid, but
assume winner of this fights for the title.
I mean Hamzat,
Yeah, fuck. You have Hamzat in the picture too. I didn't think
unless
about
winner
that.
fights Hamzat, and that's your number one contender fight.
That's true too.
There's a possibility.
Because what's Hamzat ranked right now?
I don't know, 2. I mean, or 3, I guess. If Strickland is the number one.
So if Strickland's fighting Duplessis in
Hamzat's
February,
3.
I think the winner of this, I mean, you might see the winner of this fight Hamzat in like June.
Yeah.
And then the winner of that fights the winner of Sean Strickland DDP in say like November.
Yeah, August. That was
November.
that was his last title defense. DDP kind of did the same thing, right? He fought in January last year, and then in August.
Yeah,
he's fighting first week in February this time, so it could be.
Then
like
you'd
August,
have to make
September.
the winner. You'd have to make the number one contender fight in like May.
Yeah, April or May.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, Hamzat is good to go, right? I mean, it just kind of depends on.
I guess we just got to really see what the results are of this fight and see if,
Yeah.
Injuries and all that shit play an effect. They may not be fighting in May. It may just be a Hamzat August title fight,
Which I think is fine.
But then you're making him wait till August and not even to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
About that.
I do think really. I mean, I think Izzy probably have a hard time against Hamzat.
I do too.
I think anybody has a hard time. I think Strickland really has a hard time. I think Izzy really has a hard time.
I think DDP has the best
DDP
chance
probably has the best chance to beat Hamzat.
just because he's just got that weird,
Yeah,
weird fighting style. Like,
yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
he's kind of going to be hard to take down, honestly. Like, with
yeah.
that bum rush jump, because Hamzat just jumps at you, dude. He don't take like a legitimate shot, dude. He just
Mm-mm.
jumps and grabs your feet and just pushes you forward. Like, that's
Yeah,
going to be hard with DDP. Like, he's built for to
yeah.
not
He's
get bullied like that, I
kind
guess.
of he's built similar to Robert Whitaker though,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Hamzat just did this to Robert Whitaker.
Yeah,
Hamzat
but
does the
DDP
trouble.
also fucking finished Robert Whitaker too. So
Yeah, the trouble is, I mean, Hamzat does this to everyone,
I
and
know.
you've never really seen,
Well, not true. He didn't do it to Gilbert
right.
Burns.
Gilbert Burns, yeah,
Yeah,
and Usman,
and Usman, yeah.
yeah,
So
so
we'll find out though. I mean,
yeah,
great fight. I
yeah.
think winner. I think you're right. Winner of this either fights Hamzat or fights the loser of DDP Strickland.
Strickland, yeah,
Yeah. And then Hamzat gets the next title fight. I think that actually might be how it goes. Because I could see Strickland, I could see Izzy versus Strickland again, to be honest.
yeah,
I could see it.
yeah.
I could see it happening.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I could see, I mean, they both have lost to Strickland. So either way it goes,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but that's us saying that DDP is going to beat Sean Strickland,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we don't know about that. We still got to find that out. So
True.
But yeah, then you have your co-main. Big name step ups for a co-main event. I mean, Shara Magomedov and Michael Venom Page. I think you have Shara as one of I would say top 5 biggest prospects right now in the UFC, who's gradually making a big name for himself. And you also have Michael Venom Page, who came into the UFC with a big name, big following. It's kind of dwindled down a little bit since his loss to Ian Gary, but
he'll always have a big following, though. He's always
still has a big name,
Yeah.
So, but I think now you're putting this matchmaking is like what the UFC should be doing every time they do matchmaking, dude. Like this is you got Michael Page karate style, that whole kickboxing karate style fighting. Then you have Shara Magomedov, who's same kind of fighting style. This one's going to be good, dude. I don't see this one going to the ground. I see this one being a stand-up fight. I think it's 3 rounds, which kind of sucks. But
would it piss you off if Shara's game plan was to wrestle and he just wrestled?
I would be so mad, dude.
So I mean, that's what Ian Gary did.
I know,
right? Ian Gary really wasn't. I mean,
he was like, I've been with Charles Oliveira. I'm going to work on my Brazilian. I'm going to work on my jiu-jitsu, and it's crazy. This guy.
Yeah. So I mean, but that's not really what he was known for either, And then he went out there and just wrestled MVP.
Yeah.
I
mean,
think,
I don't know.
I like Shara Bullet in this. Obviously, MVP's fighting up a weight class. This fight's at middleweight. MVP's obviously a welterweight. I don't. It's just weird to me. Anything can happen in an MVP fight when people stand in front of him. He's just a weirdo.
Yeah, but also same works the other way.
No doubt. We
saw a double spinning back fist knockout last year from this guy, dude.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, and he throws. Shara Bullet throws kicks from everywhere.
Dude.
All types of strikes. But the unorthodox style, the thing that makes MVP so great is the same thing that makes him kind of hard to hit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just his movements don't make sense. They're unpredictable. But I think if there's, a striker in that fringe top 15 that can clip him and knock him out, it's probably Shara Magomedov.
I see like a spinning elbow, like a spinning back elbow, catches MVP and splits.
That's an MVP move, dude. That's an MVP. MVP gets MVP'd. That's what you're thinking?
Gets MVP, dude. I could see it. I don't know, man. This one's going to be entertaining, though.
I just have this weird feeling that Shara's going to wrestle him, and it's just going to fucking piss everybody off, and nobody's going to like Shara Bullet anymore.
I don't think so, dude, because he's not that good of a wrestler.
No,
we learned that in his first fight.
No, that's my point. But you train it. you drill it, drill it, drill it. This is your game plan going into this fight, and then you go in there and you just
They
wrestle him
probably like
down. And
watched Ian Gary. Like, how did Ian Gary win this? No,
yeah,
there's no way, dude. There's no way. Don't say that. Don't even put that in the air.
I'm just saying it's a
We don't need
possibility.
another Magomedov wrestling out there.
Possibility. I think
God,
it would
man.
ruin his fan base. Nobody wants to see it. Hopefully, he's not that guy. Hopefully, he just goes out there. This is the incredible striking clinic that everybody wants it to be. You know what I mean?
Well, he's at a 5-inch reach disadvantage or a 6-inch reach disadvantage. He's at a height disadvantage as well, but only by an inch.
Mm-hmm.
But he is the favorite, so we'll see how it goes. He's a minus 185 favorite, so
Yep.
he's an even higher favorite than Izzy is against Imavov, which is
Yeah.
pretty solid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I think if Shar does get it done, then call me crazy, but dude, this guy's gonna skyrocket quick. If he beats MVP, we're gonna see him fight,
Probably
a
a
top
top
10
10.
guy next,
Yeah.
with ease. And
Yeah.
then, dude, he could beat any of these guys in the top 10. I feel like.
Yeah. It gets a lot harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
You
like
haven't
who we
really
got?
seen him
Roman
fight.
Dolidze, Brennan Allen, Jared Kinnear, Marvin Vittori. Then after that, that's when it gets tough. But 10 to 7
Nah,
are
those are
beatable.
pretty tough. Yeah, they're
They're beatable.
beatable, sure, but he hasn't fought anyone, dude. Like he hasn't fought. He knocked
That's
out
what I'm
Armen
saying.
Petrosian,
If he beats
but
MVP,
yeah, but MVP's not even a middleweight. So he beats up a smaller guy, and then that tells you that he can dominate 6 through 10. I mean,
no, not 6 through 10, 7 through 10.
okay, whatever.
You can't count Cal Barella in
I
there.
don't think I think any of the fights ahead of him are extremely difficult. I
I
think
think you put
Jack
him up against Jack
Hermansson's tough.
Hermanson.
I think Fluff Hernandez is tough. I think Costa's tough. Delitze's tough. Allen's tough. Any of them are like legitimate competition to where it's really going to challenge him. That's going to be the fight. His next fight is going to be the fight that you go, all right, he's legit or not. This to me, MVP's just a weirdo, dude. It's
What if
hard
they
to
feed him Bo?
gauge.
What if they feed him Bo Nickel?
Shara?
Yeah,
If Bo Nickel's smart and doesn't do what he did last time, I think he dominates him.
like wrestling for sure.
Yeah, he just
Bo Nickel's got to be coming up on a top 15 fight soon.
if Bo Nickel just shoots 30 takedowns, dude, it's over with. I mean, I don't even know if he's going to need that many. He's going to choke him unconscious. He just can't get clipped on his way in. Either way, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves with that.
I know. But still, so Char Bullet, we think's going to win. I think Char's going to win as well.
Yeah,
we'll see how the game goes. Next one, Sergey Pavlovich versus Jair Rosenstruck. Bounce back fight for Sergey. I said he was the biggest flop of 2024. That was my take in our big year. I think he proved us like that he's not the boogeyman. For one, he's definitely beatable. And now this is Rosenstruck's chance to kind of like, I don't know, man. I think if he wrestles, he may have a chance. If he could just avoid getting knocked out, dude.
Yeah, right. Which he did the entire fight against Tai Tuivasa, obviously. Like, that's really the only thing Tai Tuivasa has is to try to knock somebody out.
Knock somebody out, yeah.
Rosenstruck won the decision there. Knocked out Gaziv. Got submitted
which is also
by
a
Almeida,
wrestler.
Well, not really Gaziv, but Almeida, he got submitted by Almeida in the first round. But
I think Sergey's best plan of action is just to, like, if he can't knock you out, then I think anybody has a chance.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of these heavyweights are. That's why they have trouble against Tom Aspinall, and that's why they have
so
trouble.
diverse.
Yeah, that's why they're a little bit more athletic. They're bigger. Like even his fight against Volkov. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, even his fight against Volkov, like Volkov's just so long.
That's
you
true.
know?
Yeah. I mean, but to be honest, I don't see Pavlovich losing. Like I think I just don't because I mean I think Rosenstruck's good, but I don't think he's like top 4 good, nor even top 5 good.
Yeah,
I
I kind
mean,
of agree.
but
Yeah.
so I think that if Pavlovich wants to stay around and kind of be relevant in that top 5 game, then this is his fight to win, and I think he knows that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think we'll see it. So I think he gets to finish. I think he honestly gets to finish quick. I could see a first round finish.
Yeah.
But like I said, if Rosenstruck goes in there with a game plan, like a solid game plan, you never know. You know, he may end up
Right.
edging the fight. So,
Sure. Yeah, sure.
but yeah, I mean, and then you have some, dude. There's so many like Russians on this card, dude.
Yeah,
So,
it's in it's in
I
Saudi
know,
Arabia,
dude.
so
It's crazy. Then you next fight, you have Saeed Nurmagomedov. I feel like he just fought, but then again, I always get some of them confused with each other, so
for
it's
sure,
hard to
yeah.
keep track. And then he's fighting Vicencius Oliveira, who is the guy who came off that big uh, knee victory, like flying knee off the fence
Sopaj,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, close fight. Uh,
They have Nurmagomedov as the favorite, like almost
yeah,
a minus 200 favorite. Um, I mean, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It's tough. Like Vinicius Oliveira looks like um he looks like the Carlos Pratis of the bantamweight division right now. Like
yeah,
he just looks like a fucking killer. But at the same time, like you haven't really seen him fight anybody. He had a dominant win in the Contender Series.
yeah. I
Exciting
mean,
fight, gets
beating
a
Ricky Simon
contract
is solid though.
for sure. Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
that's a pretty decent win. But then again, Saeed Nurmagomedov, is he who was his last fight against? He beat up Gufarov, who just
Gafarov.
came
Yeah,
off a big win
yeah,
against the
yeah,
undefeated guy. He just beat the shit out of that guy. So Saeed's not he's
yeah. He did lose to
definitely
Jonathan
solid.
Martinez before that.
But then also Jonathan Martinez is like, he's a top 10 damn bantamweight, I feel like. Or
No,
was at that time.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Either way, I think I don't know, man. I think this fight is gonna be close. I really don't know. Like this is one of those ones I don't know. Like, is Vinicius Oliveira as good as I think he is? I don't know, right? So like this is going to be this is way too this is a test, like a legitimate test for both of these guys kind of very early in their careers.
And
More
they're
so
very
for
even
Oliveira.
too.
Yeah, very more so for Oliveira than Saeed. Like Saeed has obviously been in the UFC for a little bit, has a few fights in the UFC under his belt. Oliveira really doesn't. But this is that I'm telling you, like Vinicius Oliveira just rubs me like this Carlos Pratis. Like he's about to have kind of this run to where he comes in here and beats the dog shit out of Saeed Nurmagomedov, and then everybody goes, oh, you're that guy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 50-50 on this fight, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
same,
think it definitely could go either way.
same,
Um, we'll kind of see. I mean, you know how the judging goes in Abu Dhabi. You know how, you know,
no doubt.
no,
Yeah,
most of the time Russians don't lose in Abu Dhabi. It's just,
yeah.
it's
Well, and
just,
it's they don't have the same time difference,
yeah, I
travel,
know.
like all that stuff, which they normally do have, right, when they come to the United
Yeah.
States and fight or anywhere else. So, um, yeah, I want Oliveira to win. I got Oliveira here. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah, like I said, could be fight of the night.
could be, yeah, could definitely be fight of the night. I
So
have a feeling that Shara and MVP is my probably early prediction for fight of the night. Just
not
because
if he
they're both
wrestles.
so exciting. Unless he wrestles. If he
Yeah,
wrestles, then no. But they're just both so exciting. That would be my kind of way too early prediction for a
sure.
fight of the night.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, in the
Yeah.
next fight, Ikram Alaskarov, I think he beats Andre Muniz pretty easily.
He's a
I don't.
huge favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think that fight. I mean, Muniz is good, but he's. I don't think. I mean, I think Ikram Alaskarov is better, like way better.
Yeah, and this
Like,
is one of those kinda I feel like this is kind of a get back fight
get
for
back fight for
Ikram.
Ikram. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, because he did the UFC a huge favor, right? Like, he stepped up on short notice to fight Robert Whittaker,
Yep.
um, obviously got knocked out by Robert Whittaker,
And
so I feel like
he
they're
was on a tear too,
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that. So
right, right, so I do feel like they're kinda giving him one here, right? Like, they're giving him yeah, he had 3 fights in the UFC now. The first 2 before the Robert Whittaker fights were first round knockouts. Then he
yep,
got knocked out in the first round, obviously by Robert Whittaker, but he took that on serious short notice.
yep. So
So I think
I
they're
agree.
giving him one here to kind of get back on the right track.
I
I
agree.
I don't think you see the upset there.
No, I don't either. I don't either. And then outside of that, I mean, you got some decent good fights, I guess. I mean, Shamil Gaziev fighting Thomas Peterson, that should be a decent heavyweight fight.
Yeah,
Terrence McKinney's back in the octagon again. Um, he needs something. Like if I hate to say it, but if he loses this fight, he may honestly be cut.
I don't know, man. I don't see it. I mean, he's 2-2 in his last 4. It's possible, but like it seems like he either gets knocked out in the first round or knocks somebody out in the first round. His
Yeah,
last
I
3
know.
fights all ended in the first round. He's 2-1 in his last 3. Obviously against Ribovics, he got floored in the first round and lost, got knocked out. But then he was going into that fight, he was on a 2-fight win streak,
I
knockouts in the
know.
first round.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I
I
guess
mean,
for an entertainment side, it works, but for like a business side, I don't know like how that works. I don't
yeah, I
know.
don't
Like,
know. I
because you
don't.
never know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah, he definitely needs this win. I think it's bad for optics. It's a bad look for him
Because he can
if
only take so many times getting knocked out the way he does, dude. He
I know
gets
he
knocked
goes to
out
sleep.
bad, dude.
Yeah, he goes to sleep for
So
sure.
like you can only
Yeah.
take so much of that, in my opinion. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's got a great story. I would hate to see him, get cut, or I'd hate to see him, you
Yeah.
know, not continue in the UFC. But at the same time, it's like you can only win and lose so many fights by knockout
Right.
before your ass is in another organization. I
Yeah,
mean,
no
I've seen
doubt.
them cut way better fighters.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Muhammad Makayev.
but I think Terrence McKinney's always done the UFC justice. I think he's always been good by them. So I don't know if I don't. Maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping, but
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
don't know. Yeah,
So you got that fight. You also have Farziem versus Mike Davis. I think we were talking about a little earlier.
yeah,
Big fight with Farziem coming up off of the big win over Matt Favola, and then
yeah,
Mike Davis. Obviously same thing. Both of these guys are both coming off wins.
yeah.
I think this
M-
is going to be a really good fight, but I also think Farziem's going to win. Even I think you might see the underdog take that one. That's just my personal opinion on that. I think Mike Davis is tough, but I think Ziem is just. I think there's something there right now. I think he's figuring it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think you'll see kind of. I think striking wise, Ziem probably has the edge. Mike Davis has had some pretty good submissions. Ziem obviously is longer, has the reach. Does Mike Davis able to kind of get inside on him, maybe get takedown control and win the fight on the ground that way?
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll kind of be able to tell. Like this is going to be one of those things, in my opinion, where in like the first round you'll kind of be able to tell how it's going to go, right? Like if
Yeah.
Mike Davis tries to take him down, and gets stuffed, I think the fight's going to be kind of difficult for him because I do think. I mean, after watching Ziam and what Ziam did to Fervola in France, scary, bro. He's
Yeah, and then
scary.
you get the hype of coming off that kind of win. It's like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's
Confidence through the
definitely
roof.
confidence through the roof. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally think you get the upset here. I think you see Ziem take this fight and win.
Yeah.
Um, and then we go from there. So, and then kind of towards the end of the card, really, there's not much more to talk about outside of just one fight, and that's Jasmine Jasudavicius and Myra Brina Silva. Kind of, a lot of people hate to talk about women's MMA, but this is a pretty solid fight between one person who just fought for a title in a different weight class, and then a rising star in Jasmine
Yeah.
in her division. So it's like, she gets this win that's huge for her. She loses. It's kind of like, is it because Mayra Bueno Silva came down? She's bigger, she's better. Like, what kind of goes on here? But I think, to be honest, I don't. I think Mayra Bueno Silva can win. Has the edge in this fight.
Yeah.
I think simply because of size, weight, and
On the
level of
ground.
competition that she's
Yeah.
she's fought. But then again, I also think Jasmine Jadut, however you say her damn name, is solid too. Like, I think her
Yeah.
striking's getting better
She's
every
on a
fight. Like,
3-fight win streak
yeah,
too.
she's on it. She just got a
Yeah.
big win over De Silva.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's there.
I will say I'll be surprised if this fight, not that it happens because I think it'll happen, but I'll be surprised if Mayra Bueno Silva makes weight. I have a weird thought in my head that she's gonna miss weight. I doubt the fight will be canceled. They'll do the thing, where they give Jasmine a percentage of her
Purse.
purse or something, maybe. Because she seems Buena Silva seems big for flyweight.
I agree with
She
you on
seems
that.
like a true bantamweight, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't. I haven't really heard much on this. Obviously, women's MMA in general, but especially like the bantamweight division and some of these ladies like aren't really headline news.
Yep.
I haven't seen much about it, but I do kind of wonder why she's fighting down in flyweight. Is this a permanent thing, or is this kind of like an MVP, fighting up at middleweight, kind of a one and done thing?
I mean, because she's the number 7 bantamweight,
For sure. Yeah.
and
Yeah. She moved down, right? Like she fought for a title, but then she lost to Macy Chiasson. So, she kind of got knocked back after that. And then you've had some stuff happen with Kayla Harrison and yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if maybe she's moving down permanently. Whatever.
But then again, anybody that loses to Raquel Pennington, dude, could fucking just get just dog walked.
Yeah, they need to make that fight with Kayla Harrison ASAP. I mean, that should
Juliana
be
Pena.
happening. Yeah, that should be happening now. I mean, that should be on the schedule. Juliana Pena is just like, oh, she's the worst.
She's like the
She
dog you
barely
let loose in the
fights.
neighborhood that you can't get to come back because they're just like roaming free in the neighborhood, and you're just like, that damn dog always comes in my yard and shits on my
Yeah.
lawn and then leaves. Like,
Yeah,
that's
she
Juliana
barely
Pena.
fights, dude. She barely fights, and then she just yaps.
I think Kayla Harrison's gonna be the same way though.
Maybe Kayla Harrison's older, dude. So
Yeah, I
it's
know.
possible. I mean, she might win that belt and then just walk away. Check, right? Gold medal, PFL.
Because there's no
UFC.
if she dog walks Juliana Pena, there's nobody in that division
Yeah,
that's
who
gonna beat her.
cares?
So
Yeah. To me, I think it's just an accomplishment for her. Like, I don't know if this is something Kayla Harrison's planning on doing long term. She's later end stages of her career. I think she comes in to get a belt.
like
And
the
then just
likelihood that we
check.
see her fight, like get the belt, defend the belt, and then like continue defending it, we're better off seeing
Unless
her
she
end up fighting Amanda Nunes
That's
coming
what I was
back
gonna
or
say.
something.
Unless
So
she gets Amanda Nunes out of retirement for one more like kind of super fight on the women's bantamweight division, which I think is
I don't think it's
real.
likely though.
Yeah, that's the only thing to do though. Like that's really the only thing to do.
Now you're in a talk of like Tom Aspinall versus John Jones, like, but the only difference between that is John's still active,
Right.
So
Yeah.
if John was retired, then John would never come back to do a fight against Tom Aspinall, dude.
Yeah.
He would never do that. So
Yeah.
why would Amanda Nunes do that for Kayla
It would be the equivalent to if John had retired at light heavyweight.
Yeah.
With the reign that he had. And then Alex Pereira now is calling him out to fight at light heavyweight.
Yeah.
If John never came back and never, you know what I mean? It would be, and that would never happen. I don't know. I don't know though. Like we saw Amanda Nunes kind of posting stuff online the last time. Like,
Nah. I think you have a better chance of Juliana Pena fighting Amanda Nunes before you have Kayla Harrison fighting Amanda Nunes.
I think Kayla Harrison. I think that's the only fight that Amanda Nunes would come back for.
You think so?
Yeah, she's not gonna come back and fight Juliana Pena, dude, because
I
she
mean,
dominated her
yeah, but
the
she
second
may
time.
do that just to come back and fucking prove a point. Like, shut up, you dumb bitch.
I don't think anybody cares.
Because what
Like,
happens if Kayla Harrison loses to Juliana Pena?
she won't.
But what happens if she does?
She won't, though. You know what I
But
mean?
if she does, then what happens? Then it's
Then
like,
the
what if she?
then you scrap the women's bantamweight division altogether.
You
You
really do
cut
though.
them
At that
all.
point, you really just
Yeah,
shut that shit down.
there's nothing of interest there. The only thing of interest in that division right now is Kayla Harrison.
That's
It's
true.
the only thing. It's the only thing people actually care about in that division. Look, Buena Silva was just fighting for a title 2 fights ago. Now she's on the early prelims.
I know.
Like, nobody cares.
That's
So
true.
Kayla
And there's
Harrison's,
nobody even like on the rise in the bantamweight division either to
what do
even
you?
make
Because
anything
there is no
noticeable.
bantamweight division.
I mean,
It's like a
Misha Tate is still in the top 10, dude.
because it doesn't exist. Like it's like it's kind of how the featherweight division.
I guess
used to
maybe
be.
Eileen Perez.
Yeah. She may be currently the biggest star other than Kayla Harrison in the women's bantamweight division, without a doubt. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, because
she
outside
fights
of that, I
frequently.
mean,
She gets
Norma
finishes.
Dumont is definitely there too. I mean,
Yep. Yeah.
but outside of that, Caitlin, nobody cares about Caitlin Vieira or
No.
Macy Chiasson or fucking Raquel Pennington, dude. I'm just no one does.
No,
Not even
they
Irene
don't.
Aldana is even respectable.
Yeah, I
In that
mean,
division,
Irene
so.
Aldana had her all-time moment. She'll be forever known for that, the nastiest cut, arguably, the UFC's ever seen. I mean, that'll be the thing that she's known for forever. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. But yeah, like I said, outside of that, it's like when you get to like Carol Rosa, she's
Mhm.
18-7, dude, and she's number 8. Like
Right.
Indiana Santos, 15-8. She's number 9, like 8, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like no one cares. Misha Tate is still there at 20-9, dude. I don't even think
Yeah.
she fights anymore. Like I think she's retired.
Yeah.
So like
there is something to mention actually, that we did not mention.
what?
Well, number one, there's 6 fights on the main card as
Yes.
opposed to 5. Number 2, the main card of
12
this
p.m.
starts at noon Eastern time, 12
Fuck.
p.m. Eastern time, next Saturday.
I don't think I knew that. I don't think I realized that until you just said that.
Well, so it's interesting, right? I'll be next Saturday, February 1st. I'll be at Cage Fury. I think it's 131, maybe 132, in Philadelphia. So, and I was like, man, that's weird. Like normally, because Cage Fury's on Fight Pass.
Fight Pass, yeah.
So if UFC is on Cage Fury, that's why they normally always fight on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Right? Even if it's like an Apex card, they fight on Friday nights. So they're fighting Saturday night. I was like, man, I wonder why they're fighting on Saturday. That's Izzy fight. I'm like, oh, it's got to be early, 12 p.m. Main card starts at noon.
That means the early prelims start at freaking like 9.
Yeah, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're ready to get
Grab
up
your
on
coffee. Grab your
this
coffee.
is gonna be. I love fight nights like this, though. I love fights that are early in the morning, dude.
Early Saturday fight days. They're the best.
Yeah, dude. Get up, eat a good breakfast, watch the fights on the TV. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even have to get on the computer. Just sit on the couch, watch the fights.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I may throw up I may do a little watch party. You guys can come hang out with me solo dolo. Might run up a watch party. Depends on how the morning goes. But normally if it's an early fight like this, I don't really get on the computer that early. I'm typically sitting upstairs watching the fights. I like to chill out and enjoy it.
Yep.
Maybe order Waffle House or something, get it delivered to the crib. But but yeah, I mean, other than that, big fight night. I mean, you got this fight night this week, and then to follow that, starting February 1st, I believe we have like 9 or 10 straight weeks of fights.
Okay.
I think it was kind of like a ridiculous, like Yeah, we have February 1st, February 8th, February 15th, February 22nd, March 1st, March 8th, March 15th, March 22nd,
Yeah.
March 29th. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
So you,
6, 7, 8,
man,
9
so
straight
there's
weeks.
wow. Yeah, I mean that's they don't even have anything announced past March 29th. But there's
No.
an event every Saturday from this Saturday until the end of March. So
Yep.
that's
And
awesome.
only one, two. Well, I say only, but 3 of them are at the Apex. Yippee!
Yeah, it makes sense.
But
Makes sense.
but yeah, big cards coming up. 312 is not big, but it's not really great at all. Honestly, it's
Nah,
it's a dog shit pay per view that you have to spend
it's
$80
bad.
on.
It's very bad.
313 obviously is going to be a banger of an event, but mostly there's only 2 pay per views in the next 9 weeks, and the rest of them are all fight nights, which I'm not very mad at. Let's kind of look. I want to look at the times now that
Manel
you
Kate,
mentioned.
Brandon Royval, March 1st.
Yeah, that's March 1st. Most all of them start at well,
Normal
yeah,
time.
most of the fight nights start at 7 p.m. And then obviously we have the 3 p.m. March 22nd card for Australia,
England.
which is
That's
another
London.
crazy thing. That's another fight night, dude. It's
Yeah, it's London,
another thing. You know, you
not
got a guy who
Australia.
just lost his belt, and now he's fucking headlining a fight night, dude. It's
It's
crazy.
London though. He's fighting in his hometown.
I know, but still, it's crazy. We know what
Yeah.
happened last time he fought in his hometown.
Yeah. Well, that
Um,
was also at like 4 in the morning or something weird. So at
yeah,
least
true.
this is going to be a normal time over there for them. You know.
Yep. But other than that, I mean, I don't really have anything else. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you stuck around this long, make sure that you like, subscribe, follow the channel on all socials: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you got up at the top. We're on all platforms. We are now partners on YouTube at the highest level. So any views, any watches, any contributions that you make to the channel help us out. We take all the profits that we make and invest it straight back into the podcast just to make sure we're doing everything we can to be great. So we got a lot of stuff coming. Merch is coming soon once we can figure out if it's set up correctly on YouTube, which I think I finally figured it out. I
Nice.
hope so. If not, but yeah, we'll have a merch shop. So again, like I say, any purchase that's made will be invested back into the podcast. We're going to be looking to do some, investing into outside stuff outside of the podcast, like sponsoring fighters and supporting people in the fight organizations and things like that to kind of help them out too. So but yeah, the more support the better. If you do want to be a member, there's a member option to be a YouTube member. I guess they call it members, but
Mm-hmm.
we have set prices that are pretty low and affordable. If you want to support our channel, that's the way to do it. And like I said, all profits will go right back into the podcast. Dude, we're not in it for the money. We're in it to be great, and that's all we want to do. But anything helps us be great. So, what else you got? You got anything else, Merc?
That's it, man. I'm excited. Early card. I'm ready.
Kind of hungry, dude. It's lunchtime. About to get off and get some food.
Yes, sir. All right.
But catch you on the next one, guys.
Peace.